guys come in because they want to see what they're paying for and what they're getting for their money.
When former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher went into the killing house, she lived up to her nickname, the Iron Lady.
She wanted to be the hostage, so she sat at a table and she put her handbag on the table, and there was two guys to her sort of aides, a guy called George. So he said, right, George, you sit there. You know. So we done this drill where we all came in, and George collapsed to the floor, and Thatcher just sat there with her bag, and she was taking it all in. And she said, get up, George, you're embarrassing me.
What's good enough for Maggie Thatcher is good enough for the rest of the world. The ongoing legacy of the killing house can be seen in its adoption by other global elite units.
Certainly Americans have taken over the concept. Certainly Delta Force have their own sort of killing house. The FBI now have modelled it on our killing houses, and even the Israelis now use the same sort of concept.
The killing house is a hyper-real experience, but it isn't the same as coming under intense enemy fire. Deep behind enemy lines, the S.A.S. are on their own, exposed, and if you get captured, you're in for a whole lot of hurt.
I lined everybody up, facing the brick wall, and they all started to cock their weapons. And you think, we've got no control, so...
The S.A.S. are an undetectable, indestructible, unstoppable tornado. Counterinsurgency, counterterrorism, count on this. They're going to slap you down. The secret of any Special Forces success lies in furious training, meticulous preparation, and clinical execution. 9 times out of 10, it pays off. But when it doesn't, you've got to know how to escape and evade. At the worst, you'll have to withstand excruciating torture. The S.A.S. are shrouded in secrecy. Current operatives are barred from speaking to the media. Past members often choose anonymity, adopting pseudonyms. The reason? They're inserted into the world's hellholes to take out the trash. One mission in the S.A.S.'s history typifies the dangers its soldiers are pushed to, the limits they face. 1991, Operation Desert Storm. An S.A.S. patrol is chopper deep behind Iraqi lines. Their mission? Stop the information fueling the Scud attacks against Israel.
During the first Gulf War, I was the patrol commander of an 8-man foot patrol, and the call sign was Bravo 20. And the mission was find and destroy a fibre optic cable that was sending the information from Baghdad to the Scud teams that were firing in the western deserts into Israel.
The mission was soon compromised and had to be abandoned. The S.A.S. troop were now fleeing for their lives. As Iraqis showered rounds of lead down on them, their only option was to fight fire with fire.
It's not like the films where everybody's like, charge, all that. It doesn't exist. We wanted to get that huge amount of firepower down, not only to obviously kill as many people as possible, but actually confuse and then get away.
For long-range contacts, the S.A.S. generated firepower with the heavy-caliber GPMG, a.k.a. the M240. But foot patrols need lighter weapons, and in the 1980s, they adopted a machine gun classic, the Mini-Me, a.k.a. the SAW.
This is the 5.56 millimeter Mini-Me, or the M249 as it's known in the United States. If you want to keep the other guy's head down, this is what you keep his head down with. The thing that makes this a sustained fire weapon are two. One is that it's belt fit, and you have a 200 round box here. The other thing is, as you're firing, the barrel heats, and because this has a quick change barrel, you can change the barrel out, go with a fresh barrel, and keep up the rate of fire.
Built by Fabrique Nationale at their headquarters in South Carolina, the SAW is a weapon that lives up to its name.
Well, seeing as they do call this the SAW, I'm going to try to saw something in half for you.
The SAW's relentless buzz allows elite units like the S.A.S. to make fighting retreats.
What it's all about is shoot and scoot. Say, what you do, get the rounds down and get out of the way. Because the object is not to take them on. Because chances are, which happens, you're going to run out of ammunition and you're going to die. So what you do, take them on and get out of the way and keep on going. Where we were going was northwest to the border.
Having successfully battled their way out of a couple of bloody contacts, the unit got separated. Alone and exhausted, McNabb's game of cat and mouse saw him within sniffing distance of safety, the Syrian border. But just as he could smell his freedom, the Iraqis caught him, and the game was up. Treated as a spy, McNabb was dragged to Baghdad, where a furious interrogation began. He endured physical beatings and humiliating degradation.
They would come in sometimes, pure out of frustration. I had to eat my own feces once and do Michael Jackson moon dances.
It would be enough to destroy most normal men. But the S.A.S. aren't normal. As part of his training, McNabb, along with other S.A.S. operatives, have met long-term hostages. Their experiences would help him stay sane.
Certainly what helped me, my resistance to interrogation training, was listening to everybody's experiences. And for me, there was an American Marine pilot who was captured during the Vietnam War and spent 6 years in solitary confinement. Every major bone in his body was broken during torture. With no medical care, he had to look after himself, and he survived it all. And he said, what they're after is what you got in your head. Don't worry about your body. You've got no control. If they want to, damage you, they will. Try and minimize it the best you can, but actually what you've got to do is keep an integrity of your mind.
After 6 long weeks of torture and interrogation, teeth smashed out and bones broken, McNabb's luck changed. Saddam Hussein agreed to trade S.A.S. captives for Iraqi POWs. The end was in sight, or so he thought.
Even on a release, the very final thing of before getting released to the Red Cross, they lined everybody up, facing a brick wall, and they all started to cock their weapons. And you think, we've got no control, so what? So what? Who cares?
In the end, it was one final cruel bluff by the Iraqis, and McNabb was finally free to walk away. He'd endured a mental and physical battering, but his elite S.A.S. training had seen him home.
The Bravo 20 experience, just not only my sort of personal experience of that, but the other guys that survived that, I think embodies everything that the Special Air Service are about.
The S.A.S. are an elite forces phenomenon. Masters of counterterrorism and counterinsurgency, they are equipped for any occasion, anytime, anywhere. Drawn together, the branches on their family tree reflect their unique genesis. Deep penetration behind enemy lines required heavily weaponized jeeps. Counterterrorism resulted in the adoption of the MP5 and the creation of the legendary Killing House. And 21st century firepower has given this elite force an even nastier bite. The result, the best pound-for-pound special ops unit in the world, the British S.A.S.